올림픽 시작합니다. 네. 진동이 1대2로 밀리고 있는 상황. 오리아나를 당연히 가져와야 되기 때문에 럼블을 끊어주는 모습. 뽀삐. 자, 그럼 이제 자르반을 자르겠죠. 니코 자르네. 이러면 굳이 자르반을 살려둘 이유는 없긴 한데, 이거 아지르 렐. 그렇지, 렐은 잘라야죠. 렐 아까 안 자르니까는.
has been pivotal, right? Like his individual play on the rail has been absolutely exceptional. Coming into the quarterfinals in particular, I still have a lot of questions about his champion pool. After the Maokai game, I feel like those are still warranted, but his Poppy and his rail have been exceptional.
자르반이랑 둘 다 살리겠죠. 뭐 이상한 거 변해가지고 그렇지.
I'm wondering if we're gonna have a trade Jarvan for Orianna, and right now that's what it's looking like with the Kalista.
오리아나, 그렇지, 오리아나가 훨씬 나.
Certainly is. Taking the time here.
아지를 자르반 나오나?
There's no way you want to also give them the Jarvan.
No, you have to pick it.
The combo is just too good. Have to seal that one away. They could then get Faker his Azir again into the Orianna if they wanted to grab it first, or they could go for a support or a jungle pick here.
짤반
JDG put themselves in.
뭐 같이 나오겠죠?
Jarvan are two of the combos that you usually play with Orianna. And owner looks damn good
짤반
the
아지르.
entire tournament on the Jarvan. Part of the reason we've seen it taken away so frequently.
아지를 안 할지도 몰라.
Is it something the
다른 거 할
T1
수도
want
있거든요.
to prioritize here? Are they comfortable taking another side of the matchup? The Rel was ultimately the ban from JDG, given how comfortable owner had been on it. But there is the J4, unsurprisingly.
You gotta pick it away. I also think that J4 with his ultimate makes
아지르 아니냐? 아니 아지르냐 아니면은 저거냐? 원딜을 먼저 고르냐? 그럼 우리가 우리가 가지. 여기서 이제 리신을 할 수도 있고.
So they could replace the Jarvan pick here on the side of JDG with the Vi and still have that guaranteed engage, that shockwave delivery system. Gumayushi's been so good on the Varus. He's combined with so many aggressive lanes with it.
그렇죠.
They have a chance to break that up. The Ashe Varus
나오나요?
in their go-to combo, but
카나비의 시그니처 픽.
he can dig deep for other things as well.
오케이. 괜찮네. 이건 밀릴만 하죠.
So many dashes to dodge the Jarvan EQ, favored very often in the 1v1.
이러고 이제
It also really emphasizes level 1s and level 1 invades and looking
세나 3캔치 같은 거 가져가면 되니까 나쁘지 않네요. 근데 세탐도 자르반한테 카운터 되니까 세탐 말고 이동기 좀 빡센 거. 자야 같은 걸 그냥 해도 되고요.
Zays will not be allowed to play Aatrox in this one, and now T1 are faced with an option. Do you want to pick something for Zays?
자야가 자르반에 좋진 않지만 바루스한테는 또 나쁘지 않아.
Or are they going to leave it
아지르.
and have the risk of his pool being pinched?
So JDG are actually in a bit of a pinch here for the Aatrox because
자야가 또 남았거든요. 괜찮아.
been playing Graves.
상대 이제 서포터 견제를 해야 되는데.
I wonder if they're going to ban away the Graves to protect Aatrox
바드?
here. Some other counter picks
바드가 나오면 좀 빡세긴 하겠다. 유저하고. 바드를 잘라주는 게 맞을 것 같고요.
See what they want to protect 369 with because Zays has definitely been one of the big
바드가 좀 빡세 보여.
utilized here. They're more worried about the Ashe.
상체에 영향을 끼치기 좋은 거. 벨베스의
And I think
킥을 망칠 수 있는
not
그런 거.
afraid to take these more volatile matchups. Busted out the Jace, a champion where you need to snowball, you need to press your leads. Did a fantastic job doing so in the quarterfinals.
자야 잘랐네요. 그래서 결국.
Similarly volatile.
그래도 남은 거 제리 같은 거 있거든요. 괜찮아. 룰리 요리 보고 룰리 있거든요.
And I wouldn't be surprised if T1 keep hidden what
룰리
because let's not forget it was Varus support specifically that carrier put
뭐 나올까요? 근데 일단 서포터가 나올 것 같긴 하거든. 케이틀린 나오나요?
You should not try this at home. That is also a
케이틀린이 나올 것 같은데.
into the Aatrox specifically and would set up a terrifying
케이틀린 안 나오나? 그냥 진짜 뽑네? 야.
Forget the Graves. We're going all in.
Graves.
So they've got Jarvan plus Yone initiation here to set up for it. So much CC
룰리 남았거든.
playing Bel'Veth's so difficult here. I mean
룰리하고 룰로 같이 뽑으면 좋죠. 룰루요. 밀리오도 괜찮고 룰루를 만났지만
concern for JDG right now because Zeri is not a strong
그렇지.
champion in the
됐어,
early
됐어.
stages
일단
of the game.
뱀픽은 됐다.
Varus is a notorious lane
이제 상대
bully,
케이틀린 같은 거 나오나?
and you've just given the freedom to Keria to counter pick.
케이틀린 뭐 나올 만한 브라운
Pretty effortlessly. Lulu good, obviously, but can be outclassed
아니면은
by a lot of the ranged
케이틀린?
options. And Caitlyn, while not a traditional support, is one of them.
I mean,
아니면 안전하게 갈 거면 밀리고 같은 것도 있어요. 바드, 그렇지. 바드 나오면 좋다고 말은 했는데 진짜 나오네. 룰리, 그래 룰리, 외로운 룰리, 근데 이제 외로운 룰리가 나왔기 때문에 할 수 있습니다. 그래서 전반적으로 뱀픽이 진동이 좋긴 한데 탱커가 없다는 단점. T1은 좋긴 한데 탱커가 없다는 단점이 있어요. 그래서 이걸 어떻게 극복하느냐. 많이 닮아 있어요, 두 팀 뱀픽이. 상체 게임이 되면 안 돼. 바텀 게임이 되던가 하면은 좋은데. 근데 벨베스가 또 이제 아트록스랑 해먹기가 좋은 픽이라 가지고 또 모르겠네요. 벨베스가 딱 띄워놓으면은 거기다가 아트록스가 큐 박아가지고 방방이 태우기. 제발 룰리 힘을 보여줘. 룰리
This is going to be a tricky
제발
puzzle.
제발
Try to
제발
solve from the side of JDG
룰리.
to bring us to a game 5.
And to me, Kanavi is going to be the key. He is the one that needs to be the bridge for JDG towards that mid to late game.
일단은 뭐 응원하는 거 다 떠나서 일단 조합상 유리한 유불리를 따지기는 좀 어려운 조합들이 나왔고요. 다만 탑에서 벨베스가 빨리 굴리지 않으면은 조금 힘이 빠질 수 있다. CC기가 좀 많기 때문에 탑에서 그 상체 라인에서 벨베스가 그냥 고치 상태로 그냥 푹푹푹 맞아버릴 수가 있거든요.
Arrows coming down as well just to follow that up. Ruler should be able to back here, not a big deal. A bit more money in the back pocket of the area. And imagine he gets all 3 stacks there, so
룰리
we can go back opt for a pot.
룰리를 믿는다 우리.
Forward.
Kanavi definitely a very good belt.
룰루 제일 잘 어울리는 아니겠습니까?
Eyeballs are on those raptors we're talking about, but T1 well aware, trying to defend.
카운터 정글 안 가네요. 빡세게 한다 저기. 방어를 빡세게 해가지고 이제 카정은 안 되고. 대신에 리시를 이게 아트록스의 리시를 받는 거는 굉장히 좋죠.
Early lane phase, have to see if JDG can get any priority here. Guma not opting for Hail of Blades, so not quite as keen to go for lane prio, instead trying to match the scaling that Ruler is going to bring to the table with the Zeri.
Yeah, going to be the lethal tempo and call as well, so him and Carrier going to be very happy to just take it easy in this lane. And we have already seen against that what Guma can do on this very auto attack focused Varus. The early laning phase going to be really big. Duno missing, going for the healer, Carrier for the ignite. And both junglers expected to path towards the bot side of the map. Early level 2 is there for JDG though.
And for Owner, we know how impactful he can be in the early game. It has been a story of junglers pretty much across the entire series.
무난한 상황.
On this J4, a bit more pressure to make some of these early plays.
서로 풀캠 돌면은 사실 뭐 T1 쪽이 조금 더 나을 것 같긴 한데.
Early levels for Aatrox difficult. Dark and Blade cooldown is simply so long that it's hard to find good opportunities to trade back. Zaya stacking the wave here. Not a lot of dive threat, but can go for the Q3 if he wants a bit of extra poke.
So tense here. With Zeus pushing in on top side, both junglers pushing away from the top lane. Zeus getting a lot of harassment done under the tower even, using his aggressive E.
저 대포 못 먹었어요. 저 369 저거.
Meanwhile though, bottom lane supported by the junglers clearing down towards them. The Lulu Zeri early on, getting control of the minion wave. We want to use that for their safety.
Might have a fight towards the early scuttle as well.
쟤 털리고 있는데 탑.
Some vision down there. Faker, at least right now, will have priority, but we'll use that to go for a base instead. I don't know if Knight will actually let him, and we do see Missing and Ruler already trying to make their way over and ensure that Kanavi can get this early crab, and doesn't look like T1, at least for now, are winning. But Faker did get it back in, made his way back to the mid wave, but will be behind on the play.
Carrier maybe just going to throw down a bit of poke. Cosmic Binding to hit Missing. Kanavi will grab the crab. Velveth incredibly strong early on in the game.
Yeah, pushing bottom lane allows JDG to come first as well. And he's going for the double here. We'll see about the meetup, because Owner also trying to get in position first. Can he get to the pixel brush and have control of vision? He gets the ward down in it. And he's got smite as well, so he's got it.
Yeah, priority there for Zeus as well, who's first on the roam if they do try to force the objective. So instead, Scuttle Crab traded 1-for-1. Owner now turning his attention over to his Raptors. Zeus is just keeping this pressure up on the top side of the map.
And I want you to pay attention to the amount of vision that has been set up here, allowing Zeus to really play so aggressively with this Yone and try and generate leads, which with the Graves was exactly the same way that we've seen the Aatrox be dealt with before. As long as you are aware, and they have been doing a good job of tracking Kanavi, Zeus should be able to push.
저게 뭐 잔디 심었는데 진짜?
Continuing to poke in the mid lane, but you're right. Control and support for Zeus in so many of these clutch scenarios, regardless of what champion he is playing, has been a hero and a standout for T1 this tournament. As Carrier, for now, just denying Missing's back, has just enough mana for the Whimsy to take him out to safety.
And JDG and 369 have to be very careful this game, because if Zeus gets a lead this game, the Yone has a very easy time of getting set up by a Bard ultimate.
Missing, denied again. There's no killing.
너 어차피 본인도 집 못 가잖아.
Carrier can land a Bard ultimate later, set him up for an easy Yone over the top. They can group.
Carrier might be the one in trouble. Journey comes out. Ruler going through.
Playing with him.
He can go over the wall.
Yeah, big thing here is that the wave state obviously is kind of rough. We'll see if Ruler is able to actually shove it in, but with the wave just now coming in, I don't think he will be able to without Missing. Might have to give up some CS here. One thing that is really big though, and I've seen a lot of Zeri games come out, as I think Zeus actually went for the
he did. He went for the Fate Seal. He completely whiffed. Looked like a nice side step from 369. No flash burn means pretty favorable trade.
But no one on T1 is 100% secure in locking down this area, right? There's no Nautilus, there's no Vi, and that is something that Ruler in the past, particularly with the shielding that he's going to get from Knight, from Missing, has been able to utilize insanely well. Was of course a different era of Zeri. Don't quite have as much agency as you did back then. As Carrier going for a play.
또 시작됐네요. 캐리아의 모험.
Kanavi coming in. Owner waiting in the darkness. Don't want to commit to the play there.
They gotta know.
They're late on the bot lane roam. Yes, Carrier gets out of lane, but for now, Guma forced to just catch that CS. Faker waiting as long as he can, trying to hold on to the shifting sands. Turning their attention to the bottom lane. Guma only level 5. Carrier.
The short tunnel.
Yeah, if you've ever played Bard, that's a classic.
하늘이 진동에게 웃어주는 건가?
Right, not going to do much. That's why you normal cast and don't smart cast the Bard portal.
It's the dragon nub. You just get a little.
Do note there are no teleports for either the top laner here, so if we do get a fight for this dragon, or at least for the Scuttle, it will be exclusively between 4 versus 4.
Owner going in, decent bit of poke damage, just the EQ as well as the Iron Spike Whip. No level 6 again.
Uma 6.
Carrier flash locking up Knight. It's a clean play. Flash, flash forward, committing on Knight. The shockwave now coming in. Faker turning it right.
근데 룰리. 룰리 귀여운 룰리는 룰리는 그렇지 룰리는 그렇죠 승전보가 울려 퍼집니다. 초능력 내 룰리 안 귀여운 룰리 아 뭐야 동영상 봐.
And it's specifically the stall from JDG.
귀여운 룰리 공룡. 자 나이트가 그래도 잘 갔다. 야무지게 갔다 그래도. 그 카나비의 슈퍼 그 뭐냐? 룰리는 아 룰리는 그렇죠. 룰리.
For his opponents.
Yeah, that's about the worst possible thing that could happen if you're a T1
룰리는
Ruler's area getting ahead, definitely a big concern there. Able to go
오
back.
룰리.
Zayas now locked up,
아니
facing
막아야지
the
뭐하냐
safety.
369야.
Able to get in front of it and stop the dash.
I like the call from JDG, you know, the full rotation up to the top side of the map, trying to play off of those 2 kills.
아니 369 전멸로 저걸 막아야지 임마 뭐하냐 임마.
Use those Bel'Veth Voidlings for pushing along with the pop and continue to snowball him.
It also takes away a lot of the power that Zayas was having in this isolated 1v1. Now Kanavi on the Bel'Veth got an early Herald. That's a best case scenario for JDG, and they're looking for more.
내려올리는 탑라인 먹방하고 외로운 페이는 페이커 그렇지 아기 공룡 룰리는 저 능력 내 룰리 아 너무 좋죠 룰리는 아 룰리는 룰리는 다이브는 안 되고요. 이거는 돈 먹여주려고. 룰리는 여기까지. 감사합니다. 저는 근데 조심해라.
He's gonna have the Q3. Doesn't look like he is going to go for it on the top side.
Oh.
Canceling that one. Q3 can come out. He's only got a few more seconds of soul inbound, but Ruler will be able to just parkour his way out to safety.
룰리는
He probably tries to follow up with the ult and then carry there as well, but he jumps out.
야 근데 좀 있으면 궁극기 차잖아. 오너 조심해. 오너래 제우스 조심해야 돼.
Reset afterwards. And very comfortable early lead here for JDG. Not only is it the
룰리는
early lead with the gold here, but it's the concentration of it in the exact perfect spot.
Yes. Just continuously canceling these backs. Actually pretty disruptive to the side of JDG.
Yeah.
We're going to push one more wave. Stridebreaker now completed for Kanavi. He's very powerful. Owner still trailing behind. Doesn't have the luxury of the extra assist or kill. But Owner will start up the Drake. Focus on the Dragons has paid dividends for T1 in the entire bracket stage, excuse me.
And that is actually courtesy of Zayas, right? If Ruler and Missing are able to get there back in early, I think Ruler gets back, picks up his Storm Razor, and then T1 might not be able to get.
뭐 근데 어차피 람용이니까 괜찮아. 화공이니까 괜찮아.
JDG is going to be very happy with how this early game has played out.
화공이니까 괜찮아.
Storm Razor and call finish on Ruler. I think he was sitting at like a
룰리는
700 gold lead already this early on in the game.
아,
Picked at obviously skills insanely well.
아 너무 좋죠. 오, 야 바드 온다 바드. 아 바드가 사실 가네요. 오 그래도 오리아나가 또 뜯었어 포탑방패 좋아. 룰리는 오 마지막 15분까지 깔끔. 패치 먹어줬어요. 룰리는 오 하나 더 먹었어 포탑방패 좋아. 룰리 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 저 이름 뭐지?
Because we talk about the threat of JDG, they absorb your engage, they re-engage. That's Zeri in a nutshell. You go in on her, you don't kill her, she pushes all, she kills your entire team.
And already the T1 I think is trying to get someone inside.
근데 룰리가 있고 룰리 룰리는
because if he is unmatched inside, it gives you a pressure point.
룰리 올라갔는데 왜?
JDG. Because in the mid to late game, no one will be able to match this
룰리는
in the 1v1. But if he doesn't actually get a meaningful lead, and JDG are able to maintain control of the game, get early objectives, then T1 is going to be stuck trying to 5v5, trying to actually contest for some of these dragons, some of these barons.
룰리는 아 근데 T1이 이런 정글을 잘 자꾸 이렇게 야무딱지게 먹는 게 이게 기분이 나쁜데?
Oriana, which has been insane throughout this entire series, really the entire tournament, and then Ruler on a Lulu powered up Zeri.
Yeah, it's just a perfectly constructed comp here for the way that JDG like to play around their super carries. Meanwhile, T1 overloading topside as we get a teleport back to the tower from 369. Area thinking about it. That's going to be all that they do up here.
Now, Zayas obviously pretty favored in the 1v1, easy for him to kind of dictate when they do and do not trade, but hasn't been able to break that matchup open quite yet. Maybe it'll get easier once he completes that first item. Luden's now completed for Faker. The crown for Knight, again, aware that he needs to survive on side lane, potentially against someone as lethal as the Yone.
And yeah, facing Yone in a side lane is just a nightmare, even with Crown. It does take away, I think, particularly from the engage potential of someone like Owner, as Zeus, he needs to play this aggressive. And you see, again, we've talked about this earlier as well, but it still remains true. There is so much attempted vision here from T1 just to try and ensure that this Yone can get to a decent state in the game. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. Herald is going to be up in about 35 seconds, and I would expect both teams to heavily try and play
룰리는
JDG.
용에서 한번 룰리 한번 또 아니 이제 바론이 전령이구나. 아 근데 저기 코어가 하나 나오고 여긴 안 나오고 좀 큰데. 아트록스가 코어가 아직 안 나와가지고. 큰일 났다.
JDG get prio here. Expect they're favored on the objective, and you can see the one strong point for T1 in this pretty rough early game is still Zeus on the top side, on the Yone. Going to continue to track what he can get done with his lead.
Constantly moving in, getting some turret plate money for himself, getting that pressure down for T1. But here it comes. Rift Herald's been started.
이거 싸우면은 탑이 코어가 없어가지고 질 것 같긴 한데. 잘 해봐야지.
TB coming into the pit from Faker. Unleashed just in time. Ruler slowed down just a bit. Objective getting lower and lower.
Okay,
Who's going to take it? Kanavi is going to grab it. Ulti coming out with the shockwave on the backside of the lockup. Gumayushi owner goes in, but he's not able to get much done. Kanavi dipping and diving. Zeus finally going to catch the jungler, but Ruler for now is still completely unscathed.
야호!
Kanavi is living the lightning crash comes out.
룰리의 이제 타이밍 아닌가?
Zeus has burned all of his resources, but continuing to step up.
오케이 먹고 뺐으면은 왼쪽이 이득이긴 한데 좀 전멸이 하나 빠진 거 좀 차이가 있긴 하고요. 역시 카나비였다.
They get the Herald again for the Belveth, and they're able to get the better hand of T1.
Let's see if they can actually start snowballing with it, knock down some of these turrets, because Dragon coming up at only 14 seconds, and T1 are trying to reset in time for it.
Take a look at some of the individual.
좋았습니다. 코어
1K.
차이가 나는데도 불구하고 일단 이겼다. 아, 바텀 원 서포터 코어 차이가 좀 나긴 했는데 그거는 뭐 크게 중요했죠 이번에.
Teleport advantage if Zeus can either get some space away from 369 or even go back to base. Zeus could teleport down to the dragon fight and kind of sacrifice the push on top in exchange. Also, another thing to think about always when you're playing against the Bard, Kanavi here does have Rift Herald, but Bard can just ult the towers to immune them and immune the charge and nullify most of the effect.
You know, 5 seconds till that ult is available for Keria. Varus ult already available. Kanavi going through the portal! He didn't mean to click that! Oh, that's gonna cost him! Still standing.
와 근데 살았어요. 와 다행이다. 와.
That's a magical journey indeed.
와 바지스. 와. 근데 용은 너무 가겠는데 용.
A lot of health gone for the jungler, and T1 immediately going to try and capitalize.
Navi starting to heal up, has the red buff ticking.
There's
no room for JDG to contest this one. The Herald going to be immediately dropped mid. Keria still has the ulti to deny the charge, but JDG barely
조심해야 돼.
페이커야.
아, 맞다 저 바드가 저래 있었어요, 진짜. 어?
Faker on the flank. Herald still there. Void Remora still there.
어?
He finds two, but there's no follow-up. He gets out the Lulu wall. Kanavi now stepping in.
와우. 그렇지. 룰리는. 아 근데 죽었다.
But T1 are still standing. T1 are still firing back. It's a 1-for-1. Oh, these fights are just on the edge.
서포터랑 정글 교환이라 이게 아.
But the counter kill again under tower. This time around, Kanavi's not surviving under tower twice.
And this is reminiscent of game number 3. Neither of these teams are giving up anything for free, and after the charge is denied, it's Zeus going in aggressively, but this is an Orianna that actually does have the crown, and missing has his defensive cooldowns as well. Is able to wildgrowth himself, and then the looks like the fight is turned for JDG, but it's not enough for Zeus.
Zeus running, has no fate sealed. Still a big threat in the 1v1 with the rest of the team now on the way. Looks like Hullbreaker will be the second item choice for Zeus, so focusing on that side lane.
Navi's had some wild clicks so far in this game. The magical journey and then also the crystal there going in.
That was very close to being like the worst click of the tournament. But he lives somehow.
It's fine. He's okay.
It's fine. We learned cats have 9 lives. Belveth has 3. You only get a couple of those before she eventually has to go down.
All right. Well, we do have the quick blades for Zeri or Ruler here.
룰리가 한번 또 보여줘야 되는데.
Ruler. Now that is a bit scary for T1. They have to give preference on the map right now to wherever Ruler is moving with JDG. The chase down potential of this champion, if you make a mistake, is going to be too much.
Way too much. Yeah, we've seen a lot of Zeri
이제
just barely get out and then turn a team fight. And it is also
진동 화이팅이다 진짜. 문제 차이가 뭐 그렇게 막 드래스틱하게 벌어지진 않고 있지만 룰리는 할 수 있지 않을까?
Didn't involve Zeri, but did involve Knights Oriana, and it feels like T1 should be good. When it comes to specifically the side lane, they are clearly trying to leverage Zayas as much as they can. But is JDG actually going to let them?
야,
and
이거
even in some of these team fights here,
되는데.
Zayas in a position to create a lot more pressure than 369's Aatrox. This is a defensive Aatrox. This is the Gore Drinker Sterix, tankier version of it, not the lethality that we have been seeing. Whereas Zeus
아까 제우스의 그 드랍사르 템텔이랑 비교를 하고 있죠 지금. 아 이게 진짜 씨. 너무 안타깝네요. 야, 아까 그 카나비 거기서 죽지만 않았어도 그냥 완벽하게 이기는 건데. 용도 안 내줘도. 그렇지. 룰리는 초능력 내 친구. 외로운 룰리는. 좋습니다. 조심. 뒤. 룰리. 아이고 죽었다 이거. 너무 안으로 들어왔어. 카나비 왜 그래 자꾸.
Baker says I invest my TP, I take my kill. As they are able to collapse onto Kanavi there, and I think that is big. Could have been an opportunity for JDG.
왜 자꾸 저러지 카나비가?
Try and get more. Yeah, what is T1 going to do? They do have a.
가만히만 있어도 반반은 가는 건데.
They have a Yone and a Varus. They have a Yone and a Varus. They eat this objective alive.
Rage Blade's done.
JDG have zero vision. They have zero way into the pit. They have zero tools to get on top of them quickly. T1 are determined to take the objective. It's getting lower and lower. There's a portal in the back.
제발.
It's a goddamn good heist. T1 get in. They get the Baron and they get the hell out.
And we hadn't seen a lot of these, but the T1 Baron is back, baby. 21 minutes in, Kanavi goes down, and T1 might also be able to use this to set himself up for an Ocean Soul point. A hull breaker Ocean Soul Yone. It's a nightmare.
You can best believe Kanavi's gonna hear it after this one. He better have some good plays around Dragon coming up.
And that's the thing, as much as we talk about not being able to give JDG an inch because they're so proficient in the late game, the same is true of T1 around Baron. If there's any team that will go for this objective at a moment's notice, it is this T1 lineup. But JDG know they have priority access to the pit. Zeus waiting over the wall. Again, it is all eyes on Ruler. He has to be the difference maker here. A good shockwave, the Zeri follow-up could be enough for JDG to take the fight, but for now they're focused on the objective. Owner zoning them away. 2.5K. It's getting lower. They will turn it down. They get what they came for. T1, do they want to stay?
근데 잘하면?
Knockup coming through. Owner caught up. Flag and drag will take him out to safety. Kanavi burning on the back side. Owner still standing. With Ruler with the lightning crash now trying to go in. But goes golden. Carry buys a bit more space for the rest of the team. Arrows.
제발 룰리.
Ruler incredibly low, but maybe just maybe he can turn it back. But Guma's still standing tall. He can't walk in a rage. T1 starting to feel like an inevitability. Ruler Zeri not enough. T1 are running JDG in circles in these team fights. What? Tails flashing forward, just trying to zone them away. Blood in their eyes. They want everything. They'll break the tier 1.
And Zayas is just like, I'm flashing, I'm canceling backs, I'm finding a target, but that is soul points. That is a Red Bull player and power play of 3.5K, and that is T1 setting themselves up for a possible final.
Not a single T1 member dropping there. You have to look at both sides of this team fight. It sections off into so many different sick plays. First of all, though, is the Dragon. Guma Yushi combo arrow with owner to be able to secure it. Guma at Worlds has been able to steal objectives, and he's able to secure them with his team. Faker goes in for the ultimate, which gets Knight's stasis here, and then Knight has to flash Zeus's ultimate that was over the top. Then Zeus just continues back up to
뭐야, 왜
the
저래?
team fight where owner
룰리.
perfect there. They've locked up Ruler. That's all that they need.
갔다.
Zeus now stepping in. Zeus
살았다.
Q3, but he cannot find the angle. Ruler now retreating. T1, will they go for more flashing from owner? Kanavi
Oh.
goes for the wild gun coming out. T1 find the angle. Barreling down the top side with the Baron, ready to break the backs of JDG. The magical journey for T1 coming through, and perhaps the golden road coming to an end.
And it was Carrier that actually was able to hit his ultimate on Ruler in that fight. That's why Ruler couldn't do anything. The most fed member of JDG in that fight around the Dragon wasn't there.
The Baron now just times out. Kanavi's the only one that remains dead, but T1 with lightning quick speed takes so much from JDG.
아 진짜 미치겠다.
Faker now 5 kills to his name on the Azir, collecting heads. Ruler
아니 잘못한 것 같은데요 이걸.
through the wall, and T1 are not gonna let that one slide.
옛날에 갈라가 보여줬던 그 갈라 행동 아니야?
And T1
아씨.
swarm on them. Guma
야,
Yushi hits
이거
his ulti
큰일이다,
there
이거.
onto Kanavi. They chase him down. Because Ruler had been chased out with so little health, they pick up the kill on the jungler again.
And it's not done for JDG. They've come back from worse games. But just the level of dominance that T1 was able to show ever since that Dragon fight, the gold lead now skyrocketed towards them. I think Zeus is going to be unkillable inside the moment that they get this Ocean Soul, and Kanavi needs to make sure that that doesn't go their way.
If JDG win this game, it's going to be off the back of a miraculous Zeri team fight.
Knight locked up.
Knight is locked.
The crown will not stop that. And he's only a Knight. Faker knocking him down, unstoppable.
Carrier Bard. He's got the hand of Midas. Everyone he touches turns to gold in the favor of T1.
T1 continuing to press forward. JDG backs against the wall. They've come so far, so close to the golden road. But here in the late game, it's all eyes on Ruler. Time is on the execution. T1 not giving them a single moment to breathe, a moment to relax. Ruler clearing the wave as best he can. Guma getting stronger and stronger. The attack speed bar is starting to hit like a truck, shredding through the tower slowly but surely. Faker on the flank.
And the big thing is, Ruler's flash cooldown, which I think is going to be an absolutely pivotal summoner, will not be up for when the Dragon spawns. There is a window here for T1 where they can all in on this Dragon,
골드차가 쫙쫙
try
벌어진다.
and
큰일
make
났다.
sure that the Zeri won't be able to get away as consistently from the engage from Zeus. Guma Yushi also finishing wits end. Built like this on it doesn't skill nearly as well as some of the more AP or crit focused builds, but right now you are dishing out so much damage.
T1. They have been faced with the LPL gauntlet. They took down BLG in the Swiss stage. They took down LNG in the quarterfinals. Looking at JDG here, can they do it?
Weibo waiting for them in the finals. Kanavi taking the buff. Tension on each and every player.
기적을 바라야 돼.
Try to go for it this stage of the game. They cannot afford
상대가
any more
실수하기를 바라야
slip-ups, any
되는
more
거지.
mistakes to be caught out. And it's so hard now because Carrier can just fish with Bard ults. T1 have the advantage. A massive gold lead, 3 Drakes backing them up, 4 seconds to the Baron, 6 to the Ocean Soul. JDG have to be careful.
Zeus coming up the river here.
JDG have to be perfect.
He's gonna start up the Dragon himself.
Kanavi getting chunked away. Zeus can start this one, draw the attention of JDG. They're forced to respond. They can't afford to give up the soul. Guma clearing the mid wave. T1 a bit split. Eyes on Ruler. Eyes on the shockwave of Knight. Kanavi stepping in, flash to the side from Faker. At the cost of
뭐해?
Faker now dominating. Kanavi!
아니 왜 공개팡 뭐야?
Carrier now going in, the Ruler's untouched.
근데 룰러.
Rolling it out, Ruler looking to take over the
아!
Ruler still standing, but Guma's still standing. Guma firing back. Ruler goes down. Guma's just better. Zeus now stepping in. Fate sealed. Or rather, Soul Unbound now taking it back. The Ocean Soul for T1. They get everything they want.
It's the death cap! It's the death cap for Faker, the damage! Unexpected! They're gonna get Soul! They're gonna get Baron!
Run from it! Dread it! T1 are inevitable! Faker will come for the final spot! T1 will get the Baron! They will get the split push! They've got JDG on the ropes!
JDG, they've got maybe one last fight in them. And then a few more after that if they want to claw their way back into this game, but it all falls apart. A single mistake, a single moment where Kanavi messes up, costs JDG so much.
He tries to get the W knocked up onto Faker. Faker flashes it to the side and then chops him down. And that
아니 공기팡은 또 왜?
for T1. They go all in, Carrier onto Ruler, Ruler flashing then onto Gumayushi, but Guma pops him.
And it's the player on T1 that had the worst international debut in 2022, but it's him that's been trying to keep and hold down the fort and wins it there.
Coming into this tournament, he said, me and Carrier are the best bot lane. He is looking to prove it as he breaks the back of each and every LPL AD carry.
Gumayushi also said, when questioned, how will you stop Ruler? I won't. I will crush him. And he just did.
And now, crucially, Ruler doesn't have his flash available. Knight doesn't have his flash available. Just shy of death cap. No real power there for the Orianna. Such a defensive build. I don't know if they're gonna have the damage, particularly with Ocean Soul.
Ocean Soul Zeus on the side lane. Can't be stopped. He can be slowed, but he cannot be stopped without more members there. 369 will not be enough. JDG know that that's a losing
와,
prospect on the
망골드
top
차,
side, so instead they will focus on the bottom side, but this inhibitor will be a continuous weak point.
아니,
369 finding the lockup. Zeus
그냥 대충 그냥 쓱 들어갔는데 궁서
breaking
궁켜야
inhibitor.
되느니.
Here for it is slow, it is controlled, it is diligence. The hype moment over for a moment as Kanavi weaves in and out of the exchange.
이렇게 된 이상 웨이브 게이밍이 우승을 바라야 되나? 아.
Explosive fight.
아 그게 웨이브 게이밍이?
Put them in a position to close this out cleanly, clinically. Death by 1,000 cuts for JDG.
So much riding on these last minutes. JDG trying to defend their golden road as it crumbles before them. T1,
와,
the onslaught will not stop.
먹지기야. 장로 앞두고. 이러고 집 가면 끝내도 뭐 사실 상관없는데 집 가면은 이거 못 막자. 야. 35초 안에 이걸 못. 와, 집 가는 거 같은데 아닌가? 와, 카나비 그냥. 아, 이걸. 야.
Faker, over 10 years into his career, will head to another World Finals. At the head of this squad that has had so much success, but still chasing the cup.
The highs and lows of this roster over the last 2 years. The hype in spring after they won, and one of the best splits of all time. And not able to deliver again at MSI, again at Worlds, again this year. And now they get another opportunity.
And for Faker to beat Ruler here, to go on to the finals in front of a home crowd, to return to Seoul, to return to the final stage after a tumultuous year,
대단한 경기였어요. 근데 진짜 와.
where Faker wasn't even there for a decent chunk of it. It was an incredible achievement.
카나비가 너무 저점이 떠버렸다.
So crazy to hear from the interviews from some of these T1 players about the possibility of the roster not sticking together as well. But what a way to go out if they do. A finals placement again here at Worlds. Another chance.
And it showcases again why the Golden Road is such an elusive goal. Because the meta mid-tournament has shifted so much. And it's why so many teams have fallen short. Because the amount of depth you need to have is almost